Welcome to Baba's Talk Show, recorded live in Gold Coast, Australia. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Baba's Talk Show. I'm Hussein Baba. As usual, we have a very interesting topic, but today's topic is very, very important. It is something which is not widely discussed among the Islamic community, but somebody has to do it. And before I go further, let me welcome my co-host. Salaam alaikum, Afshin. How are you? Good to see you. Man, you're wearing nice stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Ajit,
Yes.
I've heard today's topic is
Yes.
a very difficult topic,
All right.
but I don't know what it is exactly.
All right.
So what you got in there?
It is, like you said, it is a very important topic. Not an easy topic to handle.
Yes.
But don't worry, we have professional people to discuss on this topic.
Sure.
And you want to know the topic?
Yes, please. No.
Huh?
Thank you.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
I'm not staying here. Thank you.
Hey, come back, Afshin.
Ajit, this is too difficult.
Afshin, please be understanding. Come back. Don't worry, we'll handle it. Don't worry.
Are you
Somebody has to do it, okay? Let's start to do it. Come back. Come take a seat. Take a
This
seat.
is gonna be difficult.
PA, can you bring a glass of water for Afshin? Come have a glass of water. Relax. Well, it is it's an important topic, but Alhamdulillah, with the help of Almighty Allah, we have people who are capable of handling this topic. So, inshallah, we'll be back shortly after this message. Okay, welcome back. As I mentioned, the topic is very interesting and very important too. And to discuss this topic, I have an excellent panel with me. Let me start off with our Imam Mohamed. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the show. Imam Muhammad Ali is the Imam of our Gold Coast Masjid. Alhamdulillah. And then next to me here we have Dr. Saima Salahuddin.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Then we have Sister Salaam.
Yeah.
Salam, right?
Two in one.
Okay. And then of course we have our co-host Afshin. Are you okay now? Are you relaxed now? Good. As you know, this is a very, very crucial and very important topic. So this halal sex issue would be based on about Islamic in an Islamic environment, an Islamic perspective, and also more focused towards our youth. All right, maybe the unmarried individuals such as Afshin. All right, let me start with my first question goes to the Sheikh Mohamed Ali. When is halal to have sex?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وبعد. يعني first of all جزاكم الله خير for inviting us in this talk show.
Right.
We honor to be here حجي جزاك الله خير.
Pleasure, our
Secondly, it is very important in Islam to talk about something like this.
Yes, good.
Just to educate us and to educate our youth.
Yes,
They need something like this.
that's right. Yes.
About your question, Haji, it is permitted in Islam to have sex just or sexual intercourse after the contract of marriage is done, not before this.
Are you referring to nikah?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Nikah contract or marriage contract. Before that, cannot do something like
Contract mean
contract, Haji. When they come to the mosque to the Imam and sit with two witnesses.
okay.
They have two witnesses.
Ah, okay. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And sit
Yes.
just to say we want to marry each other.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I sit with them, I do this, just I want to make sure first
Yes.
that no one pushed them.
Yes.
They agree about each other, they're
Right.
happy with each other.
Right.
And then after that we do the marriage contract.
Okay.
After that they can have sex. But
Okay.
before that, no.
Okay. So let us be absolutely clear. Without contract, you can't have
No.
the relationship.
Yes.
Right.
But this contract, not contract to do sex.
Okay.
Contract to be,
Married.
yes, to be married.
Okay.
Just wife and husband.
Right. It's not a short term.
Yes, no,
Okay.
it's not.
Not-
Just not contract to have sex and after that we can finish, no.
No. Okay.
Okay? Yes, we want to make it clear.
Yes, very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are talking from Islamic point of view,
Yes.
which is guided by Quran and Hadith, right? This is very, very important
Yes.
because we are following that. So that is very clear. Alhamdulillah, that's a very good piece of information. And of course, the people out there, the youth out there, now you got the point. There's no other way out.
Yes.
This is the only way is to have halal way is to have a marriage contract.
Yes.
Or we call it nikah in Arabic.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, Afshin. You want to ask something?
Yes.
Focus to Afshin.
Imam, I had a question that a lot of people ask me. So one of these questions is, if someone is engaged to be married shortly, can they have sex?
You
Or
mean
is
to
it
say?
halal?
You mean to say they already decided they're going to get married,
Yeah.
and then but they have not done the contract yet. But prior to contract, can they engage in sex? That's what you mean.
No, because Imam, I think he explained clearly that it's not going to happen before the contract is done. But you know that how some people are engaged to be married, like the families knows and everything. So I don't know if they happen they call or not, but that's what I'm asking. In that time of engagement, is that right for the man and wife?
You mean it's a verbal contract, but they want to get engaged in a sexual?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're ready, 100% ready in their mind. We're going to get married on so and so date, but just before the date, can we go ahead and
Yes.
feel it? Okay.
Engagement.
Okay.
They call it engagement.
Engage,
I'm not
very
sure if
common.
engagement
Engagement.
happens.
Engagement. Yes.
But are they in the engagement? Oh, I'm not married, so I can't tell. But are there actually? Is there any contract for the
Well,
engagement? Is there a contract for
in
the
a lot of
engagement?
Arab cultures,
That's
we've got
right.
engagement, which you actually do a ceremony for before you do the contract.
Okay.
So that's what he means.
That's right.
And Indo-Pak cultures as well.
Yeah,
a lot of the
that's right.
time, some communities do engagement before they actually have
That's right.
nikah, the
Yeah,
contract.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Afshin, that was a good question. Because I know many couples out there, they want to clarify this position because they've already decided to get married. They're engaged. Some are engaged like 3 months prior to their wedding or 1 year prior to. Now, it's very common in subcontinent countries
Yes.
and maybe in Arab countries.
In Arab countries.
So, Imam, what is the position on this?
Haji, when you ask about the engagement time, or it's called in Arabic al-khutuba, وقت الخطوبة. Okay, this time
Yes.
can be 6 months, it can be like 1 year, more, less than this. Just
Right,
they sit with each other, they know everything about each other.
right.
Okay, in this time,
Yes.
we cannot or they cannot do anything as long as they didn't done the contract of marriage or nikah. They cannot do sex or have sex.
Okay. Now, can I? Yes, please,
Since
please.
we are on the topic, so engagement, you say they just get to know each other.
Yes.
So there is a
Just to
time.
talk.
There's a time for them to sit down, talk, and get to know each other. And is that alright and permissible and halal?
Yes, but not individually, not in a closed place like this,
Like
in front
seclusion.
of their families, or they can go outside just in public place or something, just to talk. Okay, to know each other, to know everything about, to know their mentalities. Okay, but not something like
In other words, there is no boyfriend girlfriend. No boyfriend girlfriend in Islam.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That means until you do the contract, you can't even touch each other.
Yes.
You can't hug or you can't kiss.
Yes.
So you have to be apart from each other.
Yes.
Yes, you can walk together. You have some relatives or surrounded. They watch you while you go
Yes.
talking.
Yes.
So that's the only.
You know what, Haji? Sometimes
Yes.
in this engagement time,
Yes.
after 6 months or 1 year, they can decide not to be
Together.
together.
Yeah. Yes.
And they divorce, and after that they separated.
That's true.
What about if they already had done sex or sexual intercourse?
That's right.
It will be very hard after that.
That's
Yes.
true.
Okay.
That's okay. Now let's go to Sister Salaam. Can you describe your job description?
So I'm a social worker
Right.
and an art psychotherapist.
Okay.
And I've been a social worker for coming up to 14, 15 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
You look so young.
Yes.
Oh, you
I-
said, oh,
I've
mashallah,
worked and studied
mashallah.
all the way through to know whether that's the right job for me.
Okay. Then you are an expert in this field, definitely.
Not expert. I would never say expert, but I've
But you've
got
experience. You've experience. Okay. In your, of course, work related, you will come across many youths with the
Yeah.
issues, especially Muslim youth.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the most? Do they come with issues like sexual issues? These issues they come with?
Yeah.
Oh,
So of course, like any other community in
Yes.
Australia,
Yes.
we've got our very religious young people, and
Right.
we've got the young people that are trying to understand their spirituality and religion,
right.
and while understanding that they're also trying to navigate, what's happening to them as teenagers, which include their sexuality.
Right.
So you do come across that, of course.
Right.
And you know, some of them actually don't know it's haram. Some of them know it's haram.
Right.
But are conflicted, and
Right.
you know, their iman is still developing.
Right.
And I think it goes back to that iman, you know, the development of iman, and how much, you know, your desires, how strong are you,
Right.
with these desires. So
Yes.
you do come across it, you know, so it's a really big spectrum.
Okay, my next question is, during your 14 years working in this field, have you seen the numbers increasing among the Muslims?
I wouldn't put it in numbers.
Right.
And the reason for that is because we used to be a really small community. Now we're an
Ah,
exploded community.
That's right.
You know, we're a bigger community.
Right.
So I can't really put it in numbers in that sense.
But it exists, right?
It does exist.
It
Of course, it does exist. And I think my issue with it
Yeah.
is it comes mostly from parents not talking about it at home.
Right. You see,
So
now you heard what the ladies, what Salaam said. Parents don't discuss. Of course, it's not easy for parents to discuss, you know, but somebody has to discuss. That's why we have this show today. So
Yeah.
we have, I mean, there you have experience dealing with the youth, so
Yeah.
you better. Okay, now, sister, now in these cases, how do you tackle it? I mean, do you advise them to go and see an Imam, or what? How do you,
that's far from sorry, Imam. That's
Yeah.
like the last advice I would give.
okay.
Sorry.
We'll talk about this. This is
And
what you
I'll
said in
tell
my
you
book.
why. I'll tell you why. It's because if they know they're doing haram
Yes.
or something, haram is non-permissible.
Right.
They don't want to go see an imam to tell them, oh, you're doing haram.
Ah, okay.
You know?
Okay. Interesting
So-
point. I never realized it. I thought when you have a problem, they go immediately to imams.
No,
But,
no. Especially not young people.
Aha, okay.
That's the last
I'm
person you
learning
wanna go
something.
see. So a lot of the time, actually, you know, it's easy to blame the parents,
No.
but at the same time, a lot of the time, parents come from a cultural background that you know does not permit to talk about anything to do with sex,
Aha, right,
which is wrong.
Yeah, it's like a taboo. Do you
It's
think?
a taboo. It's
Yeah,
a big taboo still in our community, unfortunately. Which is, you know, like la haya fi din in Islam. You know, like there's no shame
Yes.
when it comes to anything to do with deen.
Right.
So if you discuss it Islamically and you educate Islamically, then it's not haram. But
Right.
when you keep on pushing it down
Yes.
and you make it into something that's not permissible to even talk about, then people want to experience it.
Aha, okay.
Like anything else, like going to the black market kind of thing. You
That's
know?
right. Yes, yeah, you're
The
gonna.
dark internet kind of thing.
Right.
It's the same concept, you know. People want to know why, you know. And when they want to get the information, they get the wrong information.
Oh, that's right.
So you know, you're not going to the source of okay, in Islam, is this permissible? It's not, you know. Like there's certain things. Some people don't want to even go, you know, down with a partner sexually. Some want to, you know, discover it themselves.
That's right.
And Islamically, how is it Islamically? Whether it's acceptable or not? You
Right.
know, some people also don't know whether it's permissible. You know, with the same.
Yeah.
Same, you know, same sex as well. So you know,
Okay.
man to man, woman to woman. So, and that's another topic to talk
And
about
of course,
as
that's
well.
another topic. Yes.
But there is that as well in our community as well. So let's, you know, talk about that as
That's
well.
true. That's
you know.
true. Good. Afshin, you seem to really want to ask a question. Yes.
There's a question.
I'm glad that you're asking questions because you're still single. Go and ask a question.
It's not about that, but since you said you could not put it into numbers in terms of cases that you dealt with, and has it increased or not? Obviously increased because of our community has gotten
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
But is it more female or male cases that you have or deal with?
I get a lot of males, of males.
Interesting.
But again, whether you know males think they can talk to a female with a hijab, as well as another thing. But these are quite liberal male
Yeah.
Muslims that come and speak to me about these things. But then you've got young people who feel that they'll get an answer better from a female than a male as well. So you get that. I do have a lot of females, but a lot of the female questions as well come into whether you know discovery of self before acting on it.
Yes.
So yeah, because with females, a lot of it to do with emotions.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, now back to Dr. Saima.
Yes.
Before I ask the question, this topic actually came about 6 months ago when I have.
When we were talking on
That's
the phone.
right, on the
yes,
phone. He
yes,
said
yes.
we need to talk about. We have to think about our youth and there's issues. I said, like what? She said, I get patients who come with STD. I said, are you sure? Muslim? She said, yes. They're Muslims. Oh my goodness. And I said, okay, sister. But by then she went overseas. She was away for about 6 months. Now she's back in town. So Alhamdulillah, we are here. All right. Now, so now touching on the same topic. Well, you, of course, some of your patients are Muslim youth who come with these sexual issues, STDs. So how prevalent it is? How serious is it?
Okay, so in terms of answering the question of prevalence, see, we don't have any data which we can say Australian data that which community has more STD, which doesn't. Now, of course, we can reflect on the data which is in Muslim countries, and you can see that it's on the rise. And again, because of different reasons, we have touched on some right now, and there are more to it. But of course, there's another aspect which Imam may confirm as well about the data collection. There's an issue of confidentiality. There's also from the Islamic perspective that these kind of acts, when you do, it should not be made public. Because there's a room between you and Allah to deal with it and to have forgiveness to ask for forgiveness from Allah without involving anybody. Of course, it depends on the understanding of an individual who has been involved in a sexual act. So of course there's an issue of that, but of course there's a room of, actually I think personally it will be good to know anonymously, like without naming people, to know how bigger the problem is. Now, from the observational point of view, it is a problem because, as we touched on a few things, that there are different reasons for it. One is a very natural reason, as doctors we know, as individual, I think it's a common sense. Sex and hunger, they are drives of a human being, and that's why if you look at not only Islamic religion, which is the most mature form of Allah's divine revelations, but all the revelations, they always deal with your hunger and your sex, control on them. So there's a control pathway in every culture, including our religion. So what we see that, of course, when these kids, they go through that puberty, the hormonal changes on both sides, not only, but of course, then it depends on what the society is catering for you. So we know there's a lot of visual stimulation, there's a lot of things regarding peer pressure and all that. So of course that I think has caused a problem to our youth because they have more challenges when they go out, step out of the house, not knowing or knowing, conflicted, confused, and then they have all these things around which can stimulate their hormones, their bodies. So of course they need maybe, I think, even more guidance from that point of view, because it's not acceptable to follow certain norms, which we call norms, of course, in this society, which is okay for them because there's no norm for them.
That's right.
So of course, as you asked, it is a problem, and I have males, I have females. Depends which area you work in, of course, because I see, of course, local Australian community, immigrant community, Muslim immigrant community. So there are different cultures. So among, in relevance to our topic, I can give you an example. For example, a teenager would come to me and totally confused. First of all, would be reluctant seeing a hijab or knowing, oh, it's a Muslim doctor. So maybe whether I should discuss the problem I have. I have, concern about sexually transmitted diseases. So that's already a hurdle for those people, for those Muslim, to see. So they sometimes find it easier to go to a non-Muslim.
Dr. Saima, that was good. Too hot to handle at the moment.
Too hot.
Let's relax first. The one point that you mentioned, hormonal changes in the body, there is need. Now, I will come back to STD shortly, but I just want to ask this question to Imam. An unmarried person, male or female, like the doctor said, there is requirements. Some have strong desire. They're not yet married, not into a contract. How do they relieve themselves? Is it allowed Oh, you better ask this question.
Yeah, allowed to do what?
You better ask this. You better ask this question. I think he better. Can you ask this question?
He puts you in points.
Yeah, he just like
no,
the stuff he does to it.
You want me to ask? I can ask. I think
what
most.
am I going to use for the word?
Yeah, I said.
Self-gratification. maybe.
Yeah.
Self-gratification.
Yes.
Or if you want to use
That's
the M
how-
word, it's up to you. You are
I
good.
was gonna say that's another issue that we have. We don't use the words that. Are
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So, just say it?
Yeah, use it. Let's use it. Use it.
Masturbation is a medical
That's right. Medical term. That's right.
Ah.
And you
Doctor.
can
Yeah.
use it with respect, so that's
Yeah.
okay. You know.
Yes.
We don't want
You
to.
understand? Yeah, I know. But you
No, it's not
understand?
about that. It's
You
not, I'm
understand
just
that
gonna
cameraman
laugh.
is who?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Alright, would you like to ask this question?
I can
I
add.
want to- I mean, I can ask, but if you like, I would like you to get the chance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as a single man. All right.
I see. Why
Okay.
do you have to
You're
say
making
that?
him uncomfortable when you say that.
That's how we do. Okay, Afshin, I have to stop the doctor. Because it seems like you want to ask a question. I know that.
Very
I can see from your face. Okay, what's the question? Speak loud and clear. Please, Lord.
So this is a question I get a lot in the community when I work with the youth and I have my clients.
Yes.
And that is, as the doctor mentioned, and there's a lot of hormonal change and desire
Right.
for the sex and for hunger, as we heard.
Yes.
And it's natural to have these desires.
Yes.
So I'm asking this question from Imam. Is it allowed and permissible for a single man or woman with strong desire which cannot get married,
Yes.
doesn't have the financial means
That's
or
right.
the family, the situation is not there for them? Is masturbation allowed? I know it's a big word to use, but it is a word, it's a medical term
Yeah,
anyway.
Come to me. Of course, the topic of masturbation is not supposed to be in this topic today, but it came out, we can't help it. All right. Imam, can you reply, please? That's how we do.
No, Haji, about this, all ulama agree that you cannot do this. But as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised us, من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Who is able to get married, then let him do so. What about if not? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, or he advised him to fast, okay, to fast, or to keep himself busy with something good. For example, if someone came to me and asked the same question, I can give him something to do. For example, keep yourself busy with memorizing Quran. Keep yourself busy with good friends to go and come with them. Try to find a good job for you just to take your time. Don't sit at home, okay? When you have free time, yourself always will ask you to do something like this, okay? Because you have free time. But if you take the advices of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, try to fast as much as you can. Try to keep yourself busy with dhikrullah. Keep yourself busy with the reading Quran and memorizing Quran. Try to find a job or something like this. Good friends will help you, inshallah, to get out of this problem.
Yes, Imam, from an Islamic point of view,
Yes.
yeah, that's good. But it's easy said and done. I mean, it's easy to say from the Islamic point of view, but you see, now in the modern world that we're living, we see so many things, especially men. Yeah, we are in the Gold Coast. If you go to Surfers Paradise, you get bikini cat ladies walking around, and then you have access to this internet, porno, and all this. Of course, I don't know who goes there to work, but I'm just saying it's accessible.
Yes,
So
I know.
there are youth. I can't say the youths are not watching pornography or whatever, but it happens, arouse them.
I
Then
know,
what do they in
Haji,
this case?
But we are Muslims and we choose to be Muslims. Okay? We have to know what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us and what Quran told us, and stick to Haji.
Okay.
What can we do? And the other thing we can just why you sit like this without getting married, if you are able to do, try to find someone and you can go ahead inshallah with him.
Okay. Now I would like to ask doctor, we'll come back to study again. Nowadays the children tend to mature earlier compared to 10 or 20 years ago. Now, like Imam say, you rather do those things, keep yourself busy or get married. But we have a legal age. Let's say 18 is the legal age we're getting married here. 18?
No.
Okay, no?
No, 16.
16, okay.
Oh, 16.
Let's say
Wow.
somebody get matured by the age of 12. Before 12 and they're very
I think at 16, 17, according to the state you're in.
okay.
Yeah, so
Let's say in
difference
Queensland.
states. Last time, yeah.
Huh? 16? Oh, you know better, all right.
No,
I don't want him to get married.
Yeah, research stuff is down with their law. It's like
Okay, yeah. So what I want to know,
Sorry.
I'm sure in your field, there are you two coming to you and say, look, I'm age of 12, I've already puberty, I've passed puberty. Some are very young when they get puberty and all that. So how do they handle the situation then? Did they say, because they can't get married?
her or
You were asking-
I'll come back to you.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Let's ask her first. Is that actually a thing that people get through puberty now a lot faster and earlier than 15,
Yeah, that was a
20
good
years ago?
question.
Yeah,
for-
yes, for the question.
Okay.
I'll ask
Because I
again.
know
I'll ask again.
People mature in terms of
But I-
brain development gets completed maybe a lot faster now with the old information and everything, but I'm not sure about the body. So.
Okay. I think I already asked that question to you.
Yeah,
So
you
you can reply.
Yes.
Because
so the
what I'm
question-
trying to say is, let's say somebody get mature at the age of 12, and the legal age to get married is 16 or 17, so they get for 4 years. So how do you handle during these 4 years?
Okay, so to answer your question, it's not a straightforward answer because nature doesn't put a mark on, okay, you get mature at 9 and you get mature at 12 and you get mature at 16. There's a range of hormonal maturity. Now, there's a psychological maturity which goes hand in hand, which you may know. And of course, with our diet and change in lifestyle and stuff, we are seeing some women, getting earlier their first periods. And then again, it has to do with your, see, we are whole body. We are not just body or psychology separate. It's in one body. So your psychological stimulation, whether it's visual, whether what you hear, what you engage in, that goes hand in hand, of course, your hormonal changes. So, and if both are stimuli high, so of course that will give you more urge. Again, it will come back to what Imam said. It has to come back to guidance of those individuals. Now, but if the guide are not guided, so from my point of view, what I see, it's not, we can't say, okay, it's a good advice to be engaged and all that. It's all achievable. But because we are living in a different world now, things are on the social media. You have more access to whatever you want to have access for. So the methods, I believe, should be different. It should be modernized as well. One example could be that parents need to be taught as well how to deal with these kind of questions, how to get engaged with their kids from the beginning, before they get to the puberty stage, how to explain them nicely or with the help of a doctor, whatever, how their body changes, what they get, what is natural, and how to guide them, how to learn to guide all those things. Now, in terms of getting a good company, that may be a problem for the youth as well around. You can't, you go to school, you go engage, you get friends on the net, on Facebook. You can't really know if you can get a good company. So yeah, it's again teaching the parents or the carers how to get their kids get busy in good things. But again, if you just, it's so difficult when you have so much stimulation to ask or expect people, even adults, sometimes I see, to say you do this, you do that, or you just do zikr, it will be fine. Of course, they have all effect. But if they're already too far in their stimulation, already too far to do this and be conflicted, confused, I think first step should be that through the religious institutions, there should be an activity system through which they can learn those things in an easy way, in a more digestible way, so that getting close to Allah become easier, because they already maybe gone too far because of all this body stimulation, social setup.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Good. Now, Sister Salaam, what you heard from the doctor. Now, these youth, when they come to you, do you use Islam to guide them, to explain like what the Imam said you can't do? Will they accept it when you tell them? I mean, are they receptive about this?
Yeah. So my practice as a social worker is Islamic.
Yes.
So my Islamic point of view comes through.
Okay. So you're focusing on only Muslims in your.
Well, now that we're talking about Muslims,
Okay.
I'm talking about Muslims.
Right.
But my practice of work,
Yes.
I'm a Muslim social
Right,
worker.
yes.
So whether I see a non-Muslim or a Muslim, I'm
Right.
still working from these perspectives.
Right.
I don't have to say it out loud,
Yeah.
but that's my perspective as a Muslim.
Okay.
So they know when they're coming to see me, they're
Yes.
going to see a Muslim social worker who's
Right.
wearing a scarf. So
Yes.
it's not like, they're being referred to me not knowing
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And sometimes I work in a group setting as well. So
Okay.
it can be just girls, for
Okay.
example, or
Right.
it can be girls and boys,
Okay.
or just boys. So
Alright.
I did run just boys Muslim groups before, and
Okay.
really interesting topics come through as well. And I think it's the friends, they
Friends.
jump over each other with these ideas as well.
From your opinion, do you think the masjid or madrasa are not doing enough in this area?
I think at the moment they're not equipped.
They're not equipped.
And I think the reason for that is because, there's that belief still, that cultural embedded belief that the imam knows it all. And poor imams, they're getting so much on their plate. They really do need that assistance, The imam is great when it comes to religious education, religious understanding, but they're really not equipped to deal with, child abuse, to deal with domestic violence, to deal with these youth issues as well.
Right.
They can come with the Islamic perspective on it, on what Islam says about it or what the Prophet says about it. But they really do need doctors. They really do need the social workers. They do really need the psychologists. And alhamdulillah, we are in a community that has these professions,
Right.
these Muslims that come from these backgrounds. So
Right.
it's about engaging
Okay.
with the mosque, the school, the madrasa, and
Working
these
together.
professions.
That's
Yeah.
right. So is it correct to say if the Islamic institutions like mosques or madrasas can organize kind of a course or seminar with the youth to discuss these issues
Yeah.
using, of course, Quran and Hadith, do you think by doing so the numbers can be minimized?
I personally think it's better for it to start with the imams. So to get an educational seminar happening to the imams, with the imams about, that these are the issues in our community. This is how you can deal with it, and this is how you can refer to.
Okay.
So for example, have a proper clear referral pathway within our community of, if I get a Muslim woman, for example, that's going through domestic violence or issues in the community with domestic violence, who can I refer her to within our community?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, look, we're in a country that, mashallah, has free services everywhere.
That's true, yes.
But you don't see Muslims going to all these free services, and so we have that lack as well. So what's happening? Why is this happening? So it might be because they want to stay in the community, but they want the right assistance from the community.
True. I've seen today you have so many questions. I never seen you before asking too many questions.
that's what I'm
Maybe you
here
like this
for,
topic. Come here. You see, in the beginning, he didn't want to do the show. Look at him now.
First, let me acknowledge what Sister Salam said
Louder,
about
please,
everything nowadays, in every field, industry, topic, is expected from the imams.
That's right.
And it's very wrong to do that. Like, we expect the imam to know about domestic violence, sex education, mental health. Doesn't matter what it is. Anything that is taboo in our culture, we don't want to talk about it with anyone else. We just go to imam. And I want to ask the imam, is there anything being done in the madrasas, in the mosque, about talking about this topic and sex education for the youth? And what training have you done for it?
That's a good question. Yeah, I would like to ask you too.
Questions, Imam.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, imam.
For example, in our classes, tahfiz or madrasa in the masjid,
Right.
for example, if I have like 40 students sitting in front of me
Yes.
at the same time,
Right.
their ages between
Yes.
9 years old,
Right.
6 years old,
Right.
till 15, 16.
Right.
How can I teach something like this in public, in front of them, and not all of them in the same age? Okay, and maybe some of them like boys, some of them girls, is not good to talk about something like this in public.
Right.
Okay,
Understandable.
and I leave teaching about something like this to them to come to me if someone has a question or something. He can come to the imam, please, I need advice about this, I need advice about this, or what can I do with this, with something like this. But it's not good for me to speak in public in front of 40 students, not in the same age, and some of them boys, some of them girls, is not good Hajj at all to speak like this.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I need help from homes, from parents. Okay?
Okay.
They can do better than I will do. Okay, they can help me, and if they have any question, they can come to me after that. Okay,
Right.
and for example, you have two, 3 kids in your home.
Right.
Easy for you to teach them.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
Don't put everything in the Imam. Imam doesn't do this. Imam doesn't do this, and he's sitting at home. If I asked him to help me in Quran in Arabic teaching, he said no, it's not my language. I cannot help you. If I asked him to help with Quran, no, I cannot read Quran properly. I cannot help. And now he's asking me to teach his kids sex and sexual intercourse and something like this. It's too hard.
Yeah.
Too hard. Try to do something at home. Do something at home. And if you need more, you can come to me, or you can send your child to me.
Good.
He can ask whatever he likes.
Okay. Imam, that's very nice to hear from your side. Now, you know, I have another cap, the management, with an Islamic institution. Now, what about if the respective management of this institution can organize a seminar for the parents with the assistance of Imam and also someone who's expert in this field, and of course based on Islam, and maybe have maybe once in 3 months, or we organize a seminar just to discuss how to disseminate or communicate with your children through the parents. Will that be workable, Sister
Oh, yeah,
Sarah?
definitely. We've already run in Brisbane with an organization called Hurricane Star,
Okay.
a seminar for the Imams about child abuse and child safety.
All right.
And how to tackle it under the Act itself, in
Right.
the Child Protection Act,
Right.
and what to do and where to go to if the Imam needs further referrals
Okay.
from there as well. So we can do the same.
Right.
There's a lot of, as you would know, Imam DV workshops that have been done for Imams as well.
Right.
So we can do that as well. It's not a problem.
So, and let's say I'm just thinking
Yeah.
from this discussion, let's say like like your field, your expertise, if we have a combination of an Imam and yourself,
Yeah.
can conduct these classes, it's
Sure.
feasible, right?
Yeah, look, everything is, we
Yeah.
can do anything,
Yeah.
as long as there is a workable relationship happening between
Right.
both.
And also an initiative from the management or whatever the umbrella body here,
Yeah,
if they can
whoever,
organize,
yeah.
have a seminar, organize, invite a couple of Imams, maybe not 1 or 2, maybe 2 or 3, not one Imam,
Yes,
maybe
we
2 or 3
We
Imams.
need to do something.
Yeah, 2 or 3 Imams, and get some social workers,
Yeah.
let's see them, and then have a seminar for the parents only.
Even
Yeah.
even
Could I
if
add
we
something?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Because yes, please, you finish then.
Sorry,
I want you to.
I was gonna say, even if the Imams think it's gonna
Yeah.
work better if we have moms by themselves and dads by themselves.
Yes.
So we've got a Muslim male psychologist,
Yes.
Akram, down
Right.
in Karbi. He
Yes.
can, we can get him involved. So
Right.
we do have the capability in
Okay.
our community. It's
Okay.
just calling onto them.
Good, that's a good
Yeah,
point. Yes, we
we
have.
can do something Hajj, like
Right.
every 6 months.
Yes,
Okay, we can do something.
Yes.
One day you can invite one doctor, one
Yes.
day invite one Imam from different place.
yes.
One day can be only for the parents, and another day can be for use.
I think
It's
this team is suitable. We have a counselor, we have a doctor, we have an Imam, and we have a guy who will ask questions.
No.
We can go, on behalf of
I'm a
them.
teacher. I will teach them. That's alright.
No,
I'll
I'm
conduct
telling
the
you,
training. haven't I?
I'm very glad that we had this episode. Why? Things are coming out, okay? And like Imam said, he can't do everything by himself.
Yeah, of course.
And the counselor said they can't keep on giving all this information on their own. So it has to be work together. You have to work together, and if these institution, Islamic institution, including a doctor together, because
But I wanted to make a couple of points,
Yes.
if I can.
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I wanted to add to is that we have to recognize first what are the issues.
Yes.
So one thing we have been talking about, of course, how to guide the kids and what the problem is. But I think we have to deal with the effects of the problem, which are already there. And then deal with the cause of the problems, which you are discussing about education. So effects of the problems should not be ignored, which is that kids or youth are getting sexually transmitted diseases, they are mentally confused, they get low self-esteem, how to recognize themselves in the major majority of the society. Many of them are not coming to Imam. Many of them are not coming to psychologists. Many of them are not coming to me as a doctor because I'm a Muslim. So we have to deal with both problems hand in hand, not one at a time. So the one thing would be to educate, to have an open access for the youth who have problems.
Right.
So for example, even pornography, watching pornography is now getting recognized as addiction.
Yes,
in men.
yes.
So for example, that STD, sexually transmitted diseases, there should be some open access under the guidance of a scholar, somebody, but it must not be Imam himself there, but maybe he may be educating the other expertise, the psychologists, the doctors, that in what framework they can guide the context. So without judgment, that youth can go somewhere and just discuss without attending a seminar. Maybe he doesn't want to, he feels not comfortable
True, yes.
and want to discuss maybe personal issues.
Right.
So they can have open access, they can be educated about sexually transmitted diseases, the effects of it, which can be very serious for both male and female. And then the Islamic perspective on how to deal with it and how to get back and get education about sex.
Right.
Now, what you are saying, of course, educating the cause. What is causing the effects? So educating the parents under the guidance of the Imam and the scholar through seminars, as you said, and through maybe small groups, as you mentioned already, and also to see other causes which are there, like visual stimulation is there, the reading material is there, which can be a problem. How to formulate programs which is unusual, because many kids these days don't want to go just to listen to the lecture or a speech. They can be a part of the activity and then learn from there.
Okay. Now, sister, what about in the case it's already been done? They experienced it and now they have got this STD. What is the effect in the health-wise? I mean, is it curable immediately? It takes time to cure? I'm not trying to scare the people, but I just want to know the fact. What is the result?
Well, scaring, see, even non-Muslim, they're scared of it, I get a lot of non-Muslim patients so who come and who are disturbed by even a thought of that they may have STD, male and female both. So the effects of that is the same whether you're Muslim or not. So I think we should know about it.
It is a life-threatening?
So let me put it that way. The different types of STDs, there's a group of different bacterial, viral, parasitic infections you can get through sexual contact. Now, also, we need to understand that sexual contact is not just confined to intercourse.
Okay.
It could be oral, it could be other means, as long as your body fluids are exchanged, that infection can be transmitted. Okay. So that's important to teach.
Of course.
And some of them can cause cancer. For example, HPV virus. The parents must have heard about vaccination now in schools for the human papilloma virus. So that may result, one type of it can result in a cancer in females. Now, the other type of STD, which can cause, through damaging the female organs inside, it can cause infertility. And not only infertility, in some cases can cause severe inflammation that you can end up in the hospital and hospitalized and can be even life-threatening sometimes. There are others like HIV, AIDS, that affects your immune system and it brings it really down. And that can lead up to severe diseases. Even your nerves can be damaged. There's yet another one then, syphilis is the one. And some of them can go unnoticed even. You may not everyone has symptoms in the beginning of sexually transmitted disease. Some come now, some come symptoms or problems, complaints, body complaints come after 2-3 months. And some may come even after a few years when they have already infected your brain and nerves. So,
Subhanallah. And
another thing is, it's not about you get one type of STD or another type. Many times you can get multiple. So
Afshin, are you listening to this?
Yes, I am.
I just want to relax everyone looks serious.
No, when medical is spoken, you have to take it
Serious.
That's why.
The thing is, we do take diseases serious, don't we? When somebody has bowel cancer or breast cancer, don't we take it serious?
Yes.
Don't we take it serious when we have other diseases and heart diseases, heart attacks? We do take it serious. So we have
But
to
in
take
case
it
of
serious.
STD is not widely spoken, it's not openly spoken, that's the thing.
Yes.
I'm glad Doctor
So it is
explained a lot. I'm learning too. We all are learning something, including the Imam.
Yes, yes, Hadi.
And the other thing is, in the society, what happened? There's a sense. It's about a sense of responsibility, and even local people, non-Muslims are aware of it. The
Yes.
educated ones.
Yes.
That you can transmit it. So
Yes.
that's another responsibility on an individual. So if you know, you are more careful. So if you have STD, you can transmit it to the person you have sex with. That is one thing without him knowing. Not only that, if you have STD, it can go down your pregnancy into your child. What that little child has done to anybody. It was not even a part of that decision. So one has to, if you're aware of that, it becomes a question of personal responsibility as well.
Right.
So maybe through that we can also teach our youth and our parents.
Good, good. Anything else you guys want to add? Before?
I just want to say that it's from everything that we're speaking about here. So there's
Correct.
3 stages basically: early
Right.
intervention, and prevention.
Yes.
So we have to look at all these together and
Right.
see how we can work with that.
Right.
Because Imam brought the great point of them and education. Actually, sorry, you asked that question. Sorry, my bad. And education to
Yeah.
the Imams, but it goes both ways. And then the doctor also speaking about getting the issues. So there are a lot of youth groups out there, so let's reach out for that. And like you said, there might be things that are already done, so why
Right.
reinvent the wheel? So we have
That's
to
right.
look at the 3 different spaces and how we can work in that
Right.
space.
Afshin, would you like to add something?
A lot of things been said there, so just to wrap up, but Imam said that he can't talk about these topics in the school. That's one thing that I remember, that you can't talk about this topic in front of everyone, and in public it depends on the group and
No,
who.
I didn't say. I said not all of them in the same age.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
you can't do it
Yeah.
because
Yes.
yeah, age
If
appropriate,
all
some
of them in the same age, okay, I can talk even if they want 100 people or more than 100
Yeah.
people,
No,
no
no.
problem.
That's what I meant.
Ah.
What I meant was like the situation for you in your classes, because the age difference
Yes.
and the gender difference and all that. It's not possible for you to talk about it openly in front of everyone, because there's a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old in there that doesn't need to hear about this stuff yet.
Okay, but
In the future, maybe. But have you thought about releasing some videos online on your forums, on different forums, for people to actually know about the different, like,
we
to
can-
educate
we
them
can
just
think, we can think about this.
Yes.
Yeah, cyber Imam.
like yes, cyber world now is
You
like
see-
a lot of
Hashtag cyber
youth.
Imam.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we had this episode. You see, in the beginning, of course, we were assistant. Now look, after these panels, we had this panel discussion, a lot of things came out. And I'm sure people are listening, institution, members of the management. You can ponder what we can do for the messages that we got from the doctor, from the youth counselor, social worker, and Afshin, our Afshin, and also from Imam. You see, you get information like this, so keep watching Baba's Talk Show. Now, before we wrap up, I want to ask you a question, Imam. All right, it's been done.
Okay.
People have done mistake.
Okay.
Okay, they're not married, they've engaged in sex, they've done the masturbation, all of it. What can they do now to remedy the situation from Islamic point of view? Can they ask for forgiveness? What can they do?
Yes, Haji.
Because I want to rest assure youth, don't worry, Allah is the most compassionate, the most merciful, and most forgiving. Yes, we all make mistakes. We are not perfect. Okay? None of us perfect. We try our best, we make mistakes. Now, Imam, what is
Haji,
your
for example, last week, one of our youth, he came to me. I found him like very sad and looks unwell.
Yes.
I asked him what's going on. He said, Sheikh, I want to sit with you. I have a question. I have something.
Yes.
When I sat with him, he said, I'm about 23 years old, and this is the first time in my life I have a girlfriend. Okay? Subhanallah, he's very sad for that. He said, I'm trying to keep myself away. I'm trying, but at the end, khalas, he couldn't.
Yes. So you went ahead and did.
Already.
Okay.
Okay, after 23 years old.
Oh yeah.
Subhanallah.
Right.
What can you do with him? Just I sit with him. Okay, brother, are you working? He said, yes, I'm working. Okay. just try to prepare yourself, inshallah, in the next days, and
Right.
with the same girl, you
Right.
can take her as a wife.
Wife, yes.
Okay,
Right.
and you come to the masjid. We can do the marriage nikah, and
Yes.
inshallah,
Yes.
continue your life with her, but with different.
Yes.
Okay,
Respect.
not as a girlfriend.
Not really a
Okay.
wife, yes.
And try to ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will forgive you, inshallah.
That's
because,
right.
يعني, Allah knows your intention.
That's right.
Okay. This is our Islam, Hajji. What can we do?
That's what I
You,
said.
you cannot say to him, okay, now you are from the people of the hellfire and go and
Well,
you cannot.
well, that's what the people say like that. I mean, it's
That's
very,
very true.
That's what they
People
say.
do judge.
It's very common. Oh, you did it. You
The
got the
judgment is
hellfire. No.
there in our
We
community.
No, that's right.
know, Hajji, having a relationship like this, it's called in Islam zina.
Zina, yes.
Zina, one of the major sins.
Yes.
But even if he did something like this, we cannot say, okay, you done, khalas.
Yeah.
No.
And I agree with you. I think also because see, as we discussed, we are in different age now. There are a lot of stimulation, different culture. People are mixing in different culture.
Right.
So as you said, it's not easy for them to keep themselves
You're
back.
trying now, 23 years old.
Yes, yes.
So there should be an open access from them, like
Yes.
you
Yeah.
yourself or somebody, where they can come and discuss and ask for self-forgiveness and self,
Inshallah.
rejuvenation.
Inshallah. That's true. Again, I repeat, if you have done it, you have made a mistake, ask forgiveness. Okay? Just ask forgiveness. And let me repeat, Allah is the most compassionate, the most merciful, and the most forgiving. Okay, now I'd like to thank Sheikh.
Jazakallah
Thank you
khair.
so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
coming and
Thank you so much.
discussing this
Thank you
very
for
important
cameraman.
topic. It's
Thank
very
you.
important topic, and of course, Dr. Saima, you
My
are
pleasure.
very busy, but you made the effort to come and attend.
Thank you. My
And there's
pleasure.
lots of information we
My
heard from the
pleasure.
medical perspective. Thank you so much. And Sister Salaam,
Thank you for
thank you
having
so much for your information about the youth, how you handle the youth. I mean, I'm very glad that you participated in this show.
Well, thank
Because
you
we
for
need people like
inviting
you, yes, especially young, working with the youth and all. And maybe you can use some guidance to Afshin also.
Poor guy.
Now, and then, of course, I thank Afshin, who was brave enough to ask the questions.
Yes.
Yes,
And
Alhamdulillah.
can I add something at the
Oh, yeah,
very
you can
end?
add that because I put it
As
in.
the Imam said, this is a matter of self-control.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's repeat that
controlling
again, please.
it's a matter of self-control and
Yes.
controlling your desires
Yes.
and your emotions and your actions. And as the Imam said again, the best way, and that's the advice I give to my clients, the youth that I mentor sometimes, the best way to control it and develop your self-control and to understand the power is fasting. Fast and you understand how much you can control yourself and your desires.
Good, Alhamdulillah, good piece of drum. Okay, once again, thank you all for coming to the show. So, inshallah, we see you next time. Thank you for watching Baba's Talk Show. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.